Hello Darts Nutz, I'm going to do another review of this set of Target Carrera pixel grip darts. This particular model is the C12 22 gram. It's got another interesting shape, and as with the others it comes in the nice slimline packaging, and it has a kind of a carbon fibre effect on the packaging. And as with the other ones I just recently reviewed, these retail for £52.95, and as you can see, as a little slide out foam insert on the back, you've got your Target leaflet with some of the Target items, and on the back it tells you the weight, 21.9 grams, and also your lifetime barrel guarantee. And as usual, the darts are already set up inside the foam insert, and they come supplied with some short Target Target Pro Grip stems, and you've got your Carrera Vision flights. And I'm just having a close look at the barrel, because the first time I took it out of the box. It's quite a nice, interesting shape, that. I'm not sure how that's going to work for me as a front gripper, but anyway, we'll have a close look at the darts now. Right, here's the close look, then I'll put the detailed picture up with all the measurements. As you can see, the darts are fitted with a short black coated point, and like the C3s that I reviewed recently, these are also taper quite thinly, but it's not quite as thin, I don't think, as what the C3 was. But with these, they have quite a lot of smooth sections, and it kind of makes the pixel grip section stand out as specific areas for grip. But it's kind of makes the dart much more interesting to look at, I think. And if you look at the shape of the barrel, it's kind of like a bulbous section in the middle and very thin on both ends. And where that grip is at the front, where the pixel grip is, I'd say that's pretty much a high medium, and then it's probably a medium to low medium around there where it's a bit smoother, and then back to a high medium level of grip. And on the very rare, there's some fairly grippy grooves, but I'd probably still only say that's a medium level. So it's got a variety of grip sections there, but it does look very nice. Get it back into focus, and there's your Pro Grip stems and your Target kind of transparent Vision standard shape flights. So I'll let you look at the dart for a bit, then I'll put the detailed picture up. Okay, here's the detailed
The darts
picture.
are fitted with a 26mm black coated point, and the front of the section has got a fairly long taper which starts with this smooth section of 6mm, and then there's a ring grip pixel section of 8.6mm, and then it starts to get a little bit wider as it goes towards the Carrera logo, and that whole section is made up of smooth bits and thin cut rings and grooves with a little bit of pixel grip on the end. That's 16.8mm wide, and then you've got another section of ringed pixel grip which mirrors the front section of 8.6mm, and then a smooth section of 3.6mm, and then a small section of 3.5mm of very thin rings and grooves, and then a smooth section at the end of the barrel of 3.8mm. Overall length is 51mm and the width is 6.98mm.
I'll just take some measurements along the barrel as usual. Measure the length, 51mm, so a little bit shorter than the C3s that I reviewed, and again it looks to be thickest around where that logo is, so I'll just measure that first. That's 6.99, it's probably 6.97, so pretty close to 7mm. I'll just go past that to where the pixel grip starts, 6.98, and then as it gets to the end of that pixel grip section it's starting to taper, 6.36, and then tapers to the end of the barrel, 6mm, and in front of that where them grooves are, just make sure I've got it right, it's 6.8, and on that pixel grip 5.7, and then tapering right down to the nose 4.6, so it's a little bit wider on the nose than it was on the C3s. I'll compare the weight of the barrels now. That is 21.99, 21.96, and 21.98, so pretty closely matched, and as it said on the pamphlet, 21.9 grams, and the full setup as supplied is 23.55, 23.44 grams. Right, I'll see if I can find the balance. It's going to be around the middle, I would have thought, because of the shape of the barrel, but it is a kind of unusual shape. Maybe just slightly front of centre with nothing attached, and with the supplied setup it's pretty much exactly in the centre. So that's a detailed look at the Carrera C12, 90% tungsten, 22 gram darts. Let's give them a throw and see how they go. As usual, I'm holding the darts on the front with my natural front grip, pretty close to the nose with these, and on that pixel grip there, I don't find that grip as grippy as it was on the C3 darts that I reviewed recently, and although it's a similar shape to that particular barrel and it feels fairly comfortable gripping it at the front, the balance doesn't feel quite as nice as it did on the C3, which is kind of strange because the C3 was quite a bit longer from what I remember, and I was expecting the balance on this to be a little bit better, but I think it's more the fact that the front section, I don't know, it just feels a little bit thinner than what I can remember on the C3. I'll have to get hold of the C3 and give them another try, but I think I felt more in control with my front grip on the C3 than what I have with these, but having said that, it's still flying alright, and obviously it's only my first few goes, so sometimes it takes a while to get used to a dart, but my immediate impression is that I'm not as comfortable with these with my front grip as I was on the others, but may not be designed for a front grip, but I didn't think the C3 was designed for a front grip, and yet I thought they worked quite well with my front grip. But anyway, I'll just carry on having a few more throws from there and see how it goes. I should also point out I still have a torn calf muscle, so I can't really stand properly, so maybe that could be another factor, but nevertheless. One thing I do seem to notice is I think I get a little bit more spin with these, but they also seem a bit more zippy through the air. They seem to be flying a little bit quicker, maybe because they're a little bit shorter, I don't know. Maybe there's been longer, had a bit more drag. I'll just have a couple of more throws from there because I think I'm starting to get somewhere with it now. It's flying better the more I play with it, but I still think it's probably more a personal thing with me. I think I preferred the slightly thicker one on the C3. I don't know, it just felt a little bit more like I had more control on the others. Still quite a nice grip there, but I'd still only say it's around about medium, high medium. But I have one more throw from there. Right, now I'm going to try that. Well, it's pretty much right in the middle where the Carrera logo is. And it's smooth there, so there's no real, I can't feel a pixel grip there, just very slightly where it starts there. So it's practically smooth there, but that's the chunky part of the barrel, so we'll see how it flies from there. Oh, I don't know what happened there. I think it's just hitting the wire. Where's the start gone? I'm actually getting less spin from the middle, and it's a lot more stable through the air, but I'm just not getting it very straight. Have a couple of more throws. What's up with you? What? My dog's staring at me, I don't know what he wants. There's the other one now. Partners in crime, and they're up to no good. Yeah, that was a lot better, that. It's a lot smoother as well. I think it could actually be a nice dart for a middle gripper, but you're not getting the pixel grip on that section. I think it's a lot more stable from there though. They're fighting over a toy. Hey, stop it! I'm going to try the ray grip now, and I suspect if you're a natural ray gripper, you'll probably like that, and I have a feeling it'll probably work best for you there. That there is definitely the most comfortable part of the barrel. It kind of like just tapers nicely there, and your grip kind of sits there very nice, and it may be for the people that like to grip it there and have that finger on the front. We'll give it a try and see how it works from there. Will you two be quiet? Oh, look what you've done. You bad dog. Go on, get down. No. Yeah, that was again no spin, not like I was getting on the front, and it's usually unusual for me when I grip it from the rear because it usually spins more, but that was quite smooth actually. It just wasn't straight, that was all. Now, apart from that first one and the second one, well, the first one wasn't too bad, it was just too high, but like I say, it's not my natural grip there, but the last one, that flew very nice. I think it's going to be a very nice start for array grippers. You Yeah, I don't think there's much point me trying any more from the rear because, like I say, it's just not my natural grip and it's always going to be weird, but I think it's very nice position to grip it, and the way it's flying from the middle in the rear, it was a lot more stable and I was getting a lot less spin than I was at the front, and I suspect rear grippers are going to really like the Dart. It just seems to be the right spot for that kind of grip. But just for the sake of the rest of the review, and just because it's more comfortable for me being naturally a front gripper, I'm just going to go back to the front grip. So, there you go, that's the Carrera C12, 22 gram. Get mixed up with all the names now. It's another very nice Dart from the Carrera range. Another nice addition to the various shapes and styles, but for me as a front gripper, I think I preferred the C3. I think the C3 was just that little bit chunkier at the front, which I prefer, and even though it was a longer barrel, I think it, for some reason, it just seemed to be better balanced with my front grip. It's kind of weird, that, really. You would think it would be this that would be better balanced, but for the middle grip it was flying nice and smooth, but like I said, there's no pixel grip on there, and it does seem kind of pointless buying the Dart for middle grip. That's got a feature of pixel grip if you're not going to take advantage of it, but I think for rear grippers it's definitely a nice barrel, so I'd definitely give it a try if you're a rear gripper. Some front grippers might be more than happy with it as well. Like I say, there wasn't really a massive problem. It's probably just more personal to me, and I was getting more spin from the front than I was at the middle and the rear, so it could still be worth a try for some front grippers, but I think it's more like the thinness and that kind of a feeling that I get of not being in control of the Dart as much. But I say that's just personal to me, so you might be different. But it's another quality set of darts from Target, so you can't really grumble with it in that respect. So that's the end of the review. Thanks for watching.